Hello everyone, today we're going to be going over a couple problems of the chain rule. So first of all, we're going to go over a problem x plus 1 divided by x minus 5 whole over 3. Alright, so this is supposed to be on the basis of the chain rule. So what is the chain rule? Just a reminder of what we've learned about it. It's basically whenever you have to apply more than two rules of derivation. So here you're going to look at the problem and you're going to say, okay, I know that there's going to be the quotient rule, of course, because there's a numerator denominator of a fraction being divided, and then the power rule because it's whole raised to 3. So how can we apply the chain rule? You always have to do the outside part first and then go to the inside. So if that's the case, our outside is the power 3. So our power rule is going to be our outside first, and then the inside part, which is the quotient rule, is going to be the second one. So you first do your outside, then you go inside. Alright, so let's go outside. As per the power rule, you have to do the number itself, okay, whatever your x is. So in this question, our particular x is x plus 1 and x minus 5. And you have to subtract 1 from it, right? So it's going to be 2. Okay, so if we were just going to apply the power rule, that's how you do it. But now we have done the outside. All right, so now you're going to go inside. So when you go inside, you're going to do the quotient rule. So how are we going to do the quotient rule? So you're going to go inside and just do the quotient rule like you usually do. You're going to bring the denominator to the top, multiply it with the derivative of the top, x plus 1, which is 1, minus x plus 1 into derivative of x minus 5 is just 1, divided by x minus 5 the whole square, and there you go. So this is a pretty much big picture of what we need to do. So let's just keep what we have in the beginning right over there, like this, okay? I'm not going to change this for now. I'm going to go into the quotient rule part. So x minus 5 into 1. That gives me x minus 5. And then I have minus x minus 1 because this minus goes into here and this minus goes into here. So that gives me minus x times 1 is minus x, and minus 1 times 1 is minus 1. Alright, divided by x minus 5 the whole square, and 3 x plus 1 divided by x minus 5 the whole square. Now, one thing you notice, you have positive x and a negative x. Those two cancel. You have negative 5 and negative 1. That gives you negative 6 divided by x minus 5 the whole square. Okay. Now, an interesting fact here, for these type of problems, you're always going to see these two denominators being the same. You just have to join their powers. So this is raised to 2 because of this, and this is a raised to 2. So we can join them and make them 2 plus 2. So how am I going to write that? So again, this whole fraction being raised to 2, sorry, I'll just put that there. There was 3 here, but what I was trying to show was this part. So this fraction here, this 2 here is symbolized for both this one and for this one. So basically, this is 3x plus 1 the whole square times negative 6 divided by these two x minus 5's got together, 2 plus 2 gives me 4. So x minus 5 raised to 4. And now you could multiply this 3 and this negative 6. That gives us negative 18 x plus 1 the whole square divided by x minus 5 raised to 4. And that should be your answer. Pretty famous question, I would say, but pretty easy too, as long as you get the concepts. Just know how to do the basic rules of quotient rule and power rule. You always do the outside first, then you go inside. Okay, so next problem is a variety of 2 different types. I'm gonna show how both of them look the same, but you do both in different ways. So I have f of x is equal to sine raised to 3x. Okay, I'm gonna draw a column right here, and I have f of x is equal to sine x cubed. So these are just 2 functions, and we're going to be finding the derivatives for both of them. Okay, so let's do this one first. F derivative x. Okay, so for this type of a problem, the difference is your sine has the cube, while in this one your x has the cube, right? Like for this one, basically it's the trigonometry itself that has the big cube, while for the second one it's just normally, as normal problems, the x or the function, whatever's inside the bracket, is what is raised to a power. Okay, so what will make that a difference? For this type of problem, you're going to apply it like a power rule. So it's going to be 3 sine square x, kind of like a normal power rule, and then you forget about the 3 like the power rule and you go inside. So what is the derivative of the inside part, which is, if you omit the 3, it's sine x. Derivative of sine x is cosine x, and that's it. All what you do is you do the outside part first, which is the 3, the power rule. Okay, so you do the outside part. Then you do the inside part, just the trigonometry. Alright? And that's all you have to do. And that should be your final answer for that one. But what is the difference if you're doing... Just want to make sure you guys see there is a bracket there. It was not just drawn to show it, but there is originally a bracket there. For this problem, it's a little confusing, in the sense that even these two look the same, the way how you do this one is going to be a little different. So first of all, you're going to look at sine and whatever you have in your bracket. So you're going to look at the trigonometric value. So for your exam or for quiz, whatever your question is, let it be sine, cosine, whatever is, you're going to find the derivative of that. So the derivative of sine, if as per our question here, is cosine. And you're going to write whatever the question itself is. So basically, I'll write it out to make it more sensible. And the answer is cosine x cubed. We're not done yet, but cosine x cubed. So you write that first. Then you normally do, like you usually do, into the inside part, which is the x cubed. So the derivative of x cubed is 3x squared, as per the power rule. So this, in this question, is the inside part, which is the power rule. This, in this question, is the outside. So if you guys get what I mean by inside and outside, that pretty much sums how you do the problem. So for this problem, the first one, I'm going to write the outside is what we did first, right? Is the power rule. While for the same problem, the inside part is the trigonometry, which was the sine x. Alright? Now, for this problem, on the right side, the outside part is the trigonometry. That's not inside the bracket, that's outside the bracket, right? So that makes sense. That's the outside part. While the inside part is what we saw. The x cubed is the power rule. So you do second. You do the second. All right. And always remember, when you do the inside, you don't care what's outside. So, for example, in the first question, when you did the outside part, the inside part, sorry. When you do the inside part, you don't care about the outside, right? So when we found the derivative of sine x, it had nothing to do with 3x. You just wrote cosine x. Same thing with the second question. When you did the inside part, you didn't care about the outside. You did x cubed. And that does, the answer is 3x squared, but that has nothing to do with the outside sine x. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Pretty famous concepts of the chain rule, so we should just be able to learn this, and hopefully it was helpful.